In a group discussion, the first thing to do is to set out the theme and time limit for the discussion. Typically, in a group of 4 people, the discussion lasts for around 40 minutes. The discussion we are previewing here is one for a job interview. Notice the body language the participants put across and how they introduce themselves.
Today we are going to talk about how important verbal skills are for cracking career interviews. To begin with, each one of us will have around 2 minutes to introduce ourselves and state their thesis.
Hi, I'm Firoz, and I think English is super important for careers. I mean, my English is good, and I got called for this interview. My bro says I'm good, so I must be good.
Hi, I'm Smriti, and I think that to get across an interview, you need real good verbal skills. But I think that if you're not born with it, you're gone, you're lost. So shoot yourself. And, that's what I think.
I'm Amrita, and I think skills with language is crucial because unless you make sense of language, you make sense of very little. Today, when maths is so important, a lot of us ignore honing our language skills. People who are poor with words are so, irrespective of whether they're using their mother tongue or a foreign language.
Hi, I'm Jayanti, and I think Amrita makes a fabulous point. I've hardly seen someone who is poor in the mother tongue do well in English. Strong verbal skills help us make sense of words quickly. We are able to guess meanings without looking at a dictionary. People who are good with language are able to use more words they read. I mean, there are so many words we know and read but hardly use. This means they make sense of instructions, texts, and reports faster than usual. They make fewer mistakes while using language. And if I were hiring, these are the people who would top my preference chart.
While Feroz is not prepared at all, we can probably forgive him for that. He's poor with English and tries to compensate by being cool. But Smriti calls for straight rejection. Her English is not poor, her attitude definitely is. Her accent is feigned and she has very little to say. Amrita, on the other hand, makes a good impression, but she needs to improve by being less overtly prescriptive. However, she does make a valid point, the relation between mother tongue and the foreign language. She also reminds us how verbal skills are different from spoken English skills. Let's cut into another section of the discussion where we will see how people manage conflict and try to achieve consensus.
My bro is really good in English. I mean, he got a good job right after MBA. Personal experience that verbal skills, especially spoken English, get you good jobs. You need to read books, newspaper, watch English TV, and movies channel. You get good English for career cracking.
Absolutely. But before that, we need to see what actually helps us improve skills. A dictionary, reading material, or a good online course. I know people who have dictionaries. They read and watch English news, but they do not do well in verbal assessments. Why? It's because they don't use the language. Their learning is passive.
No, not really. I don't agree. I think that if you're not born with it, that's it, man. That's it. If you're not born with it, you're dead. That's it. Look at the training courses. There isn't they give you very little real practice. Look at Feroz. I mean, his English is pathetic.
How dare you? My English good. It's Indian English. It's not your American stuff.
I think Firoz is right in getting angry. We can't make personal remarks here, not at all. And it's about communication. And as long as someone is making sense, we need to pay attention. But if we do not hone language skills, we fail miserably in getting jobs. The real point is, we cannot be smug and ignore language skills, either in schools or when we are in college.
Jayanti is right, and Feroz is making a point. He speaks from the heart and he understands our conversation. There are so many people who ignore their language classes at school. When they grow up, they look for quick fixes, but lose out when it comes to job interviews or admission tests. Good language skills does not mean an affected way of speaking or making unnatural efforts. It's about making sense of language in different contexts.
Both Amrita and Jayanti refute Smriti well. She is, of course, outrageous. But Amrita ends up taking a dig at Smriti. That could only escalate things. Jayanti is balanced and makes a new point. However, Madhura, who does not speak at all, is someone who needs to improve her soft skills.